Welcome to the Mediacasters with your business besties, Karina Belizzi and Julie Loken. In every episode, you'll get behind-the-scenes access to experts who share their struggles and successes in podcasting, publishing, and presenting. So grab a pen, grab your bestie, and kick it with Karina and Jules.
I want to welcome everybody in Media Land. We have someone here. If you have been struggling with your audio, if you are looking to up-level your audio game, whether you're a podcaster, whether you are recording an Audible book, or whether you just are having fun with your tape recorder, we have David White, and he is everything about audio excellence. And he has taught me so much personally. He has corrected me in all my wrongness and all the wrongness I do, like speaking really close to the microphone. He tells me I'm not supposed to do this, and making me a better. What did you say?
There's times,
and I move around a lot, but he produces our audio and our videos for the Mediacasters. And I was like, David, please be on here. Be my co-host. Tell us everything we're doing wrong and how we can up-level our game and achieve audio excellence. Hey, David.
Well, my goal is not to tell you what you're doing wrong. It's to help you enhance what you're doing right.
That is a positive spin, isn't it? I love that. I love positive people like you, but it's true. I mean, I make flubs. I do the I do the likes. I do.
But that's why you haven't
close to the mic.
No, I can't fix that, but that's why you have an editor. That's why you bring in somebody, or you learn how to do the editing. And this is not necessarily, I've backed off of this statement a little bit, but my job as a podcast editor or an audio producer, I used to say, it's to make you sound as smart as you actually are. Because sometimes we're just not good in front of an audience or a stage. This is a stage. Clubhouse is a stage. An actual stage is a stage. But, getting out there and being comfortable on that stage is not always easy. And so sometimes it's nice to be able to go back and trim out a little bit.
This makes me so nervous because you do make me sound so smart, so eloquent, so professional. When I am speaking in front of live audiences, I need you to go through and correct all my flubs. Is that possible?
Well, none of us are puppets. And that's the thing is there's times when I will leave in an here and there because you feel it. That's one of the things I've tried to study throughout my career is how people communicate. And you need to sometimes hear that resonant pause or that pregnant pause or whatever you want to call it as they search for that right answer. And that brings you into their presentation a little bit more. And when I produce live audio for an actual auditorium full of people, you'll invariably get that person who's like, I don't need a microphone. I'm loud enough to communicate. Well, I'm like, you are. And I try not to be rude about it, but you're nervous and you just don't think this is necessary. And so you're trying to avoid that loudness. But the idea is you should be just a little bit too loud at all times for the audience, just a little bit too loud. And that way they can hear everything that you say without trying to listen. As soon as I have to lean in, you use that for effect. So if I start talking like this,
I like that.
You know that you want to hear something that's going to be juicy, most likely. But if all of a sudden I'm back here and you can't hear me talk and I'm just talking like away and you can't hear, and now you're just frustrated with my message because you can't hear my message. So that's my mission in life, is to make sure that you are heard clearly and that you sound just as smart as you really are.
Wow. And you've done a very good job here on the Mediacasters. What is your biggest pet peeve? I know because I do know how to edit a little bit because I try to teach myself how to do everything I ask other people to do. I'm not specifically a pro like you, David, but I do see a lot of things that annoy me. If I were to go into the script and edit things, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Probably what frustrates me the most, because again, most things are easily solvable. It's, as I was just saying, it's either not using a microphone or not using a microphone properly.
Mm-hmm.
And so people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Now,
say that again. Wait, I really like that.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Like
going
that.
to McDonald's, right? I'm not going to McDonald's because I think they really care about me. I'm going because I know exactly what I'm going to get every single time, and it's going to be just fine. But I'm going to go to, let's say, a P.F. Chang's because I know that, and I've been with people who did this. They can say, I kind of feel like some of this ingredient and this ingredient and this ingredient, and they'll go back and they'll concoct something and bring it out to the table. So it's that customization. It's that straight up value that they are bringing, and that's that care that they're putting into their food for you. So when you care enough to know how to mix ingredients and do the things that get your message across, because your message is important. If you don't have a valid message, you wouldn't be on stage.
So you prefer P.F. Chang's to McDonald's is what I'm hearing.
Well, my credit rating's not good enough for P.F. Chang's most of the times, but
what do you mean? That's so funny.
No, I do like P.F. Chang's. It's a nice evening out.
It is. And it's customized to your listener's journey.
Exactly.
And that's what we want to do. We want to customize our messaging to our listener's journey. And if it's met with background noise, static, the ums, the likes, the so's, the buts, people just tune out. So I understand that about making us sound smarter than we are. And I need all the help I can get, to be quite honest. It's so true.
Well, to take another analogy, you've walked into some sort of space where you're supposed to be, but you get in there and there's no signage telling you what to do next. Either the stanchions, the ropes that guide you from station to station, they're not there, or there's just no signage that tells you what you're supposed to do next. And so again, that goes to the messaging. Your message should lead people to discovery about whatever it is you're trying to market to them. And this is public speaking. Every time you talk to somebody, it's marketing. I don't care what it is you're talking to. You're trying to convince your kids to behave. You're trying to order something at a restaurant, or you're whatever it is you're doing. It's a level of marketing because you're excited about it, or you're angry about it. But you're trying to bring people into your way of seeing things. And so again, you've got to get that message out there that says, I'm going to give you a nice, clean, clear message about what it is I want you to buy into. And I might not be selling a product, but I'm selling my idea or my emotion or whatever it is.
You're selling yourself, and it all is entangled and entwined with your personal brand or your professional brand. How we present ourselves is everything. So you are the magic maker for people like me, people who are wanting to use their voice, whether it is through podcasting or recording that Audible book. I have never recorded an Audible book because it seems really scary. I do have clients I know that are going to be doing this shortly, and you're going to be the go-to guy, but it's all about creating something that sounds a little bit better than is going on in our minds.
Well, again, it comes down to the consistency, and that's key. Sometimes the message is so vital and it's so short. There's a fire, get out. You don't care how that message comes to you. You just want to get that message because you need to do a thing. But if if you're choosing to listen to something, if it's something that you want to enjoy, then again, making it, let me say it like this, serving it on a silver platter is so much more appealing than handing it to me in a bag. That's
a bag of Cheetos, by the way.
It is a bag of Cheetos.
I like
that
Cheetos.
Was my lunch. With audiobooks, it's that consistency in the voice. It's a long time. And I'll just give you a little bit of information on the audiobook process.
Yeah.
It's roughly, now if I'm the narrator and I'm the audio producer and
Can you read a little bit of a book for us? Do you have a book handy? I'd love to hear you read something.
We will pause.
Because you do have this eloquent voice, and listening to different voices, listening to the energy that they give out and what is conveyed, it's so important to have the right voice actor. So David is a voice actor. He is going to read just a snippet from his favorite book that he just pulled off his bookshelf.
So I'm going to turn to page 155.
And what book are you reading?
This is The 4 Disciplines of Execution, or 4DX.
Okay.
And it's a Covey.
Sean book. Covey.
And it is Installing Discipline. Nope. Let me start that one again. See, this is what happens. Installing Discipline.
We can just cut that out, can't we?
Yes, we can. Installing Discipline 3. Keep a compelling scoreboard. Discipline 3 is the discipline of engagement. Even though you've defined a clear and effective game in disciplines 1 and 2, the team won't play at their best unless they are emotionally engaged. And that happens when they can tell if you, see, pick up, snap my fingers.
Delete. I'm going to have our producer delete that part.
And that happens when they can tell if they are winning or losing. The key to engagement is a big, visible, continually updated scoreboard that is compelling to the players.
That's great. And if I were to read that right now, I wouldn't give the same resonance and I would not have that same connection with listeners that you do, because my voice is probably meant to read a Judy Blume book or a Beverly Cleary book or one of those kind of books.
Well, and that's the one thing I really do like about the voiceover world. And audiobooks are in that, TV commercials are in that, animation, explainer videos, all these different things in that VO world, we'll call it. The beauty is it's not personal because it's so personal. Does that make sense? So nobody is denying you. So when you started this podcast and you brought in Kevin to record your intro, it may not have been the sound that you had in your head, but once you heard him, he clicked. And you said, this is Kevin, and this is the sound that I want to have for the intro and outro of my podcast. And that's great. That doesn't say David's horrible, I would never use him. That says Kevin's just right. And so what you're doing is you're connecting a feeling. It's not about picking a voice actor because of their personal reasons. It's because of how you like their voice. It's about what you feel like your listeners will get out of that voice. It sells your brand. It's just like picking the music for your show or whatever it might be. And so the same thing goes for an audiobook. It doesn't have to be this exact duplicate of the voice of the author. It just has to be a voice that resonates with the message. So whether it's a male voice or a female voice, and, I can't get upset if somebody says, I want a female voice. Well, I'm just ruled out. That's no big deal. I'm not a female voice.
I love that. And for people who want to get into the voice actor field, or as you said, VO field, what do you do? How do you do it? And how do you take care of your vocal cords? Because I do nothing to take care of these beautiful pipes right here, as you probably can tell.
Well, I should do more to take care of mine. Unfortunately, mine is a litany of Cheetos and Mountain Dew. So
okay, that's the perfect.
That is not the way to do it. But
are you on speaker platforms, or are you on places people can find you? Voiceover platforms?
I am not right now. I'm preparing to start down that. Colloquially, it's called a pay to play site. So it's places
Right.
like Voices 1, 2, 3, and
Okay.
places where people can find my voice and choose it, or I can audition for opportunities that are thrown out there. Those are great platforms. You can easily get started on a Fiverr platform. The number one thing that I always encourage people to do is learn from people. The thing I always tell people when they say, "Ooh, I think I could record audiobooks," you sure can. There is no question in my mind that you can do it. There's discipline involved. So I always say, take your favorite book, whatever that book might be, and we'll get to the how long they are.
I'm sad you don't have the book Audiocasters there when you
I should have
say
that.
my favorite book. Do you not have a copy of that book?
I don't have a copy. You need to send me.
Holy cow, David. That's so embarrassing. I
sorry.
need to send you one. I'm sending you one
Thank you.
right after we get off. Audiocasters.
So if you have your favorite book, take that into your walk-in closet or the quietest place in your house, open it up to page 1, and read it out loud for 2 hours.
Wow.
Tomorrow, come back and read the next section for 2 hours. The next day, do that again. Do that for 5 days. And then we'll talk about if you really, really think you want to be an audiobook narrator.
This is why I'm hiring you.
Well, again, it takes a special somebody that's got that kind of time. And I encourage authors, if you want to record your own audiobook, do it. Absolutely do it. Get somebody to sit with you and be a producer. You know, that I always, when I say producer, I always think of watching Frasier when he was in the booth and Roz was out there giving him instructions and telling him that somebody, you know, that Joe's on line 2, kind of a thing. But that person that's on the other side of the glass, as it were, or on the other side of the country, we've done this work through Zoom, and we can watch our authors narrate, and then what the producer is doing is reading along. Oh, you misspoke that word. You need to go back and pick this up. So they'll stop, go back, pick up the sentence, and go on. So, because it's not easy. It's so easy to get distracted with just reading the words instead of getting everything perfect every time. And it takes a village.
It takes a village. I love that. And becoming a voiceover actor, it can be lucrative as well when you can get that cadence going. When you get that cadence and people are recognizing you, I think you can make some cash, right?
Yeah, I did 3 scripts yesterday. They should pay out right around.
What do you mean 3 scripts for books?
No. They were e-learning type scripts.
Oh, wow.
For a client that I have, and it was e-learning prices out a little bit differently. It doesn't go by the minute. Usually it goes by the word. And so my rate it tops out at 25 cents per word, and it goes down to around 16 cents per word once you get over 3,000 words. Wow. And so I think yesterday was somewhere around the $600 to $700 range for about 10 minutes of audio.
That's a nice gig. 10 minutes. Wow. Holy cow.
Now, it took me longer than that to record it because it was a little bit, there was some creative things that the author had written and stuff like that. So I had to get my mouth to say it just right. But it wasn't just standard speak.
Wow. No, that's fascinating. And just circling back to those podcasters, if you're a new podcaster, or if you are just going podcasting alone and you can't afford an editor or producer like David, what are the top tips that you can recommend for newbies or people that don't have the budget to exactly produce or pay for production?
Buy the best microphone you can afford and learn how to use it.
Okay.
I don't care if you spend $3,000 on a Neumann microphone, or if you have, I got this at a pawn shop. It's about a $200 mic. I got it for $80. It doesn't really matter what it is. If you don't know how to use it, if you talk into it wrong, if you do a thing, if you bump it continuously, if you're sitting way back here from it,
That sounds like my audio, the way that you're demonstrating. What's going on?
Hi, I'm Julie. How are you doing? I'm Julie.
Yeah,
Good
I
to
like
see
to
you.
move around.
And there's nothing wrong with that because you want to be authentic because that makes people that draws people to you. So in your case, it might at some point make sense to get a nice headset that's got the boom mic on it.
This isn't a nice headset?
No. Those are nice headphones.
Oh,
a nice
okay,
headset that
difference.
has the microphone that sticks here.
Oh, got it.
That's always with you.
That's really a good
go,
idea. Wow. Look at that tip.
The other thing that I recommend is a boom arm. That way your microphone can be right where you are. You can get them on eBay all day. Just look up scissor boom arm and it will be around $12 to $15 plus some shipping. So no big deal. The other thing I would say is learn to use your recording equipment. You can start for free or you can start with something more expensive, but find something that a lot of people use because that way there is support out there to be able to ask questions about it. And Audacity is a multi-platform, meaning Windows and Mac, and it's free and a lot of people use it. But you're going to record locally right there on your computer and that's it. You can start right here. You can start with your phone and get going there. There's microphones you can attach to your phone. The key is getting started and then upping your game as you go.
I love that. And give yourself permission to win. And I just sprinkled that in. David White is the host of an amazing podcast called Permission to Win with his beautiful, sexy business partner, Kim White. And
we are not related. We are relatable.
That is that's the weirdest part, that you both have the same last name. I mean, I'm not sure. Thinking you might be second or third cousins and you're just pulling one over on all of us. I find that fascinating. I find your tips really useful. And I want people to reach out to you. Do you offer any courses on audio excellence to like little measly podcasters like myself, or do you do anything like that?
I don't have any courses right now. It's something I need to endeavor and get out there. David White Voice is most of my social media, and you can reach me there. My podcast is info@yourpermissiontowin.com if you want to email me there, or david@davidwhitevoice.com is the website and the email. But Permission to Win is all about just giving yourself permission that you don't really need. Just going ahead and taking the next step and being responsibly, of course, but taking the next step. You don't need my permission. You don't need Julie's permission. Just go do it.
Only my kids need my permission, but they don't even ask it. But sometimes when we're looking for permission, it's just a validation of what we think we need to be complete. And it all starts within ourselves. We have everything we need. We have all the answers we need. And I don't have all the audio answers, but typically we have all the answers we need to navigate our lives. So it's an amazing podcast.
Permission to ask for help. I mean, give yourself permission to ask for help. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't let it stop you. Don't let it get you stuck.
Mm-hmm. I love that. We kind of love you here at the Mediacasters. We have a fond obsession for David White, his audio excellence, his podcast, everything he's doing. You give so tirelessly of yourself to help others. Guys, you need to reach out. You need to get to know David L. White. And David, as you very well know, and I'm going to ask you this right now, we love to have our guests. Do you know this? Because you listen to all our podcasts.
I think I know where we're going with this. Kick it.
Oh, there you go. Wait, one more time because I interrupted you, but you probably can edit that out. So.
I can edit that out. Kick it.
That's good. That's possibly our best kick it. Guys, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and love yourself some David White.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Mediacasters. You can keep this conversation going and kick it with Karina and Jules in live office hours each week. Visit themediacasters.mn.co to sign up. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe whenever you listen. Let's kick it.